Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now, we have a nice little success for you guys today. This is our Ceratogyrus marchalli, or commonly known as the Straight Horned Baboon, or the Giant Horned Baboon. Now, we have shown this girl, a long time. Last year we showed her and we paired her. And unfortunately, she went for a long time and we thought she was going to drop a sac, and she never did, and eventually she molted out. Now this is one of the problems that we suffer with the breeding of spiders. It's not always successful, and sometimes they just molt out, and there's nothing we can do about it. It all looked good, but it failed. Now then, what we've done again this time is we moved her from that enclosure. She was in a 30 by 30 and we moved her over into this 20 by 20 by 20, much smaller, and we paired her again in this enclosure. And to be totally honest, I didn't think he'd actually managed it. It was so quick, I really didn't think he'd actually hit the spot. And we sort of like, we tried him once or twice, didn't really seem to be working out, and I didn't want him to go to waste, so I moved him on, and he went to someone else who was trying to breed as well. And we basically sat back and thought, well, we'll see what happens. And then lo and behold, some months later, she actually produced a hammock or a sac. And this is the result. Now these guys, we allowed these to hatch out inside the enclosure with mum. So she's looked after them. And I find it best with anything that actually creates a hammock rather than a ball. When they create a hammock, it's often best to leave it with the female and let her hatch them out. I think because of the way they construct the hammock, either inside the webbing that creates their home, or sometimes they will attach it to the side of the bark or the glass, wherever it might be, but it will be attached to something. Trying to take that off of that and then open it up and everything else, I just feel is something that's a little bit unnecessary, and we don't really need to do it. And it does appear to be that, generally speaking, those spiders that produce hammocks, we don't really suffer with them guys eating their sacs for some reason, which is a very strange thing, and no real reason, rhyme or reason as to why that might be. But it's very interesting. So we left her with it, and this is the end result. Now what this does create now is it means that we have got an enclosure full of babies that are tearing around. These guys are ready to go. So what we're going to do now, you can see here, we've got all of our pots. I don't think we've got enough here. We've got 100 pots here, and I'm pretty sure there's more than 100 slings inside this enclosure. So we are going to, or I say we, that's the royal we, camera lady is going to catch all these little guys up, and she's going to put them in these pots with my help, of course. And we will see how many we've got. Now, by putting them up individually, because these are already slings now, these are already popped, so they're very mobile, we can put them in here. And by doing this, we know we've got 100 pots, so they're all filled up. We know we've got 100 slings. Nice and easy, isn't it? Right, so what we're going to do first, because this is an old world spider, these are a baboon spider, and these are classed as one of the true baboons. We are going to remove our female, and that is because, I mean, she is absolutely gorgeous. She really is a beautiful spider. Now, if we can, I'm wondering whether we can get a close-up of her inside. I'm wondering if maybe I can tip this over and you might just get a view of her with all her babies, because it really is a stunning shot. Right, so here we are. I thought it was worth trying to get this close up, and you can see she is absolutely beautiful. Really cool looking spider, and you can see the babies are everywhere. They're moving around now. They're very active, and if you can see down here, this here was the egg sac. So you can see that there's this sort of dark webbing everywhere, and then you've got this lovely white patch here, very thick sides there. That was the hammock. Now, as we were explaining earlier on, if we was to try and remove this hammock, we'd have to cut all of this out. It would be an absolute nightmare. So it's often best to let them hatch within and let her open that sac, because that's what she does. Many people ask us, how do the babies get out of the egg sac? When they're ready, she will feel that they're ready by their movement and vibration, and she will actually tear open a piece of that egg sac. You can see here there's a hole here and there's a hole here. This is what she would have done. She would have opened this up, and that will release all of the babies. And they don't all come out at once because they're still almost like a yellowy colour. So they're very, very fresh. And they will literally just slowly crawl out. And then as they harden up and they become accustomed to their new surroundings, they then start to change as they grow. And they turn into lovely little slings. These really are cool little spiders. And as you can see, they are fully able to look after themselves. Absolutely marvellous. Right, so what we're going to do now, we are going to remove our female, because these guys have got a bit of an attitude, and they're more than willing to defend themselves. So rather than risk camera lady's fingers, we are going to remove this female and take her out. And the easiest way that we can do this is to catch her in our catch cup. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in and we're going to get it up against the side like this, and we're going to slowly but surely scoop her out. Now there is one or two little slings just there. Hopefully they will move out of the way, but as is with many things, we have to work around it. So here we go. We're going to put this in, and hopefully she's not going to freak out. There you go. You can see there she's turned to face it, which means we can get our lid in. There we go. Look at that. No trouble, no hassle, nice and calm. And that is our female. Plonk her down there. Right, and there you go. Now we have free access to our babies, and we are going to do our best now to catch them up as quickly as possible.
Seriously? You're kidding me. That's not my style, really. Weird. Trying to get me. You catch it, Wait, don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. You'll try and label that as flat as you possibly can. Yeah, that's the ones that you can see. Behind the curtain, so it's like... And then these ones on the floor. Oh, man. Oh, these are going to wind me up. Go on then. Again. Start building in. Yeah, alright. On the wall, Bob. Yeah. Work the screens away. Yeah, don't wrap them up in it. No. Because they get bloody caught in it. It's bugs in it. Yeah. I'll take it off for you. You've got labels for that. What we'll do is we've got all them little pots in there. We'll fill them all. No, so do it. Yeah, okay. Well, we've got to get our access off and try and work around it. Go for it. It's kind of all on the floorish now. You see where the sack is now? Yeah, it's quite clear. You need to get a picture or something. Oh. What's that? Joe's in the house. Still pots. You can see where the stuff's in there as well. Come here. Give me that pot. Yeah, this one and this one. We've got a lot more still in there and in here. I mean, we've probably got another 50. That's all right, we'll put them in the small pots. Is that it? Right, okay. Put that back in there for a second. We will just go back to the camera for a minute. Oh, walk round. Can't believe I can't promise these nasty two up. Good. Good.
Well, as you can see from there, we have done 100 slings already, and it would appear there's possibly another 100 still in there. So we are going to pause it right there and try and catch this little lot up, and we will be back to you very shortly. Right, we are back, and as you can see, we have got this little lot here, and we filled up these pots here. We filled up 100 of these, and each one has got an individual sling in it. And then there was still an awful lot more to come, so we decided to then put them into sling pots to see how these fare. So this will be an interesting thing to see how our slings progress, whether they do better in the sling pot or whether they do better in these little tiny deli cups. So it's going to be a bit of a thing. They will be kept exactly the same, so it'll be interesting to see how they progress. There might not be any difference whatsoever, but this is how we find out and learn things. So all in all, we had 302, which was absolutely epic, and I am exhausted, absolutely shattered. Right, now then, we said at the beginning about these guys creating a hammock of an egg case, and that is what this is here. So we've managed to pull this out from the rest of the webbing. Now the rest of the webbing went over the top of it, underneath it, and it sealed it around the edges, so that it was actually literally tied in to the floor of the enclosure. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, like there, you can see a different colour here. This is actually all the first molts, the first skins, the tiny yellow bits. They're all the first molts. So it is in actual fact just the same as a regular round egg sac, except that they do tie it into the surrounding webbing, whereas other spiders that just hold a round egg sac, they will literally just carry this around with them. It will just be as it is now, like you can see there. So yeah, so that is it. Rather cool. A different way of how a spider looks after its maternal egg sac, its young egg sac. Now, what we're going to do now is we've made up this tank again. We've given it a quick clean, and we're going to pop our female back in it. And then what we will do, she's got a nice fresh water bowl there. She will probably be quite keen for a drink, I would think. And we will give her 24 hours, and then we will feed her tomorrow. So let's see how she goes. Remember, these can be a little bit spicy. We've been lucky so far. She's not shown any type of aggression. You can see there she's quite a large spider. She's got a leg span of sort of 5-6 inches. And she's quite a stocky, strong thing. And we get her to come out. And then I'll move this around so you get a proper look. Crazy, isn't it? She doesn't want to leave the actual box now. She didn't want to stay in it before. Now she don't want to leave. Come on. It's time to come out. We'll just tip her out. There we go. There we go. Now then, that's her in. Now you should be able to get a nice close up there, and you can see that horn on the back here. Now we often get asked, what is the purpose of this horn? And to be totally honest, no one actually knows. Now there is some theory that maybe it holds extra nutrients from the sucking stomach that a spider has. It may do, a bit like a camel where it carries energy and what have you. It carries its nutrients in its hump, so they can actually draw on that on really hard times. And that's why sometimes you'll see them quite full and other times you see them slightly deflated. So it's an interesting thing. So we've not actually put our spider down to a point where she's that dehydrated that we can actually tell whether that horn actually does drop away. You know, we just don't know. So that's something that science will have to keep digging into, and we'll find out. But as you can see there, we've seen no aggression, and you also see there that her abdomen is still really, really good. She's got a lovely shape to that abdomen, which is what we want to see when our females have finished reproducing. She's dropped her egg sac. She's not really had anything to eat for the past couple of months. So, you know, her abdomen is looking really, really cool. We still see her there.
Yep, she's just going out of shot now.
There we go. I'll move that around. You can see these really are a truly beautiful spider. That's it. She's found the water now. I wonder if she may go and have a drink. Now, one of the other things that we often get asked for is, what do you do with all of these spiderlings? And we breed a lot of spiders here, all sorts of different types, and these will all go back into the hobby. So some of them will go to some of the popular dealers that we see online, and they will come along and they will often buy up bulk loads of them. So they might buy a couple of hundred at a time, and that's the way they go. And then others will go through private sales, through other hobbyists that are just trying to increase their collections and have a different spider, learn something different. She's determined to thinking about coming out, isn't she? We're not going to let her. Right then. Well, where are you going, madam? There you go. You get a really, really cool look at her now, and you can see the size of that abdomen. You see what we're saying? She's not lost much in the way of condition. Looking really, really good. Such a beautiful, beautiful spider. There you go. Look at that. No aggression at all. You're going to have to go back down because we don't want you going up. We want to get to go down without falling down. There we go. There we go. There you go. Down you go. Right. Let's put the lid on her before she comes tearing out. She's been very well behaved so far. There we go. Right then. Well, that was absolutely an epic afternoon. And all in all, we had to cut the filming for a little part there because it was just taking so long. We had so many to catch up. And I think in all, this has probably taken us about 2.5 hours. Somewhere around that, with both of us working away, trying to catch these all up. So yes, it's very time consuming. As they say in the trade, now is where the hard work begins. Looking after them all. Right then, well I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I will see you soon, guys.